There may be explicit language in today's episode. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 130 of Tailgate Talks. This episode is sponsored by the Frisher Recycling and Junk Removal. As always, gentlemen, how are we doing today?
I'm sad.
Bryce is sad. I'm very happy. Mike's sick.
It's a great day.
Which means, yeah, this is just going to be a great day. I got rid of my paper toss ball. God darn it. All right, I'll just have to make a new one.
Great day to talk about sports.
Listen. I am not going to yell because I can't. It hurts to talk right now. It hurts. Like, that's how I think I've been sick since like Friday. So,
Mike, this is like episode number, I think, 3 of Burrow Tailgate Talks when I was absolutely cooked.
It's just the roles are reversed.
Yep.
Yeah. So, listen, I would like to personally thank the Pittsburgh Steelers fans for finally, and I mean finally, chanting "Fire Tomlin."
Just waking up a little bit.
You should have done that a few years ago. Second of all, when Penguins fans were chanting "Fire Hexel," right? You remember that, Alex?
I do.
The front office started to listen a little bit. And what happened to them?
Ron Hextall ended up getting fired.
People had enough and started chanting "Fire Canada." The front office started to listen a little bit more. And what happened?
The Steelers did something they haven't done ever. They fired a coach mid-season.
And I think it killed, and that was probably one of the things that killed Kenny Pickett too. Even though I don't think he's killed now, because never say never with the NFL with Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, obviously. So never say never. Daniel Jones, Joe Flacco. Never until they are retired. Never say never. Never say never about an NFL quarterback ever. I don't care who they are.
No, that's fair.
I don't care who they are. Here's one more for you, and I want Bryce to answer this one too. Actually, Bryce can have this one.
Oh, yeah.
Pirates fans started to chant "Fire Shelton." The front office heard this a little bit, and what happened?
Shelton got fired, but you also have to take into account that the season they were expected to potentially be in the playoff hunt, and they were already pretty much eliminated before June.
But you get the point. I'm not saying this is going to lead to Tomlin getting fired, because I still don't think it's going to happen.
Me either.
I think if he would have to leave himself, and I think that's it. I don't think we're going to trade him. I don't because first of all, the no trade clause hurts. It does.
Yeah.
But man, I like to say, eat, sleep, go 9-8, repeat. It's literally. So, and here's the thing: people were saying, "Oh man, they should give Will Howard a chance." First of all, quarterback's not the issue right now, and I would love to give Will Howard a chance. But here's the thing: I want to give Will Howard a chance. I want to see what you have in him. Here's the thing: I don't want to see it in this coaching staff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mike Tomlin has never successfully developed a rookie quarterback. He failed Kenny Pickett. He was handed the keys of Ben Roethlisberger from Bill Cowher.
I was going to say, he's never really technically developed a quarterback, period.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
Like, Ben was already developed by the time he got there.
He hasn't. And in what universe you thought having Matt Canada be the OC for a rookie quarterback was a good idea? I don't know, but that was years ago.
Yeah.
I have never seen such a vanilla team, Pittsburgh Steelers team, that I have.
God.
Dom and I talked about it in the group chat. It's like watching this year's Michigan Wolverines, dude. It's predictable. Everybody knows what's coming. It's not a surprise to anybody.
Listen, major media personalities are starting to talk about it. Damian Woody is telling people on Get Up that Mike Tomlin and the Steelers should be going their separate ways. Like,
he's right. He's right. It's time. It's been more than time to do it.
and I don't think he went far enough. He still went on to, defend Tomlin and say he's a great coach. I don't really think that personally. But regardless, his message was correct in that sometimes the messenger loses the audience. And that is very clearly apparent with the Steelers. It's just like, I mean, we have to acknowledge that this was like the all-in push. We re-signed TJ. We re-signed Highsmith. We signed Aaron. We traded for DK. We traded for Jalen Ramsey. We picked up Darius Slay. Like, we did all of these moves to make a push, and we are worse right now, record-wise, than we were at this point with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields last year. That's not good.
Lost their starting jobs as quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Hey, like
Got
I said,
humiliated by his coaching staff, actually.
Hey, like I said a few weeks ago, this offense was no different when Kenny Pickett was under center.
No, it's still the same terrible, vanilla, predictable offense that it was back then.
Yeah. There is one thing I disagree with sports media with what I've heard today. You had to trade George Pickens. There was no other way.
No.
I don't care.
He was not going to work out. I'm really glad he's balling right now. I still think he's a bad locker room personality, and I still think he never would have been used properly in Pittsburgh if he stayed here. So,
because exactly. Because here's the thing. Talent was never the question with George Pickens. And sure, he has a quarterback to throw to him now, but what happens if Dak stops throwing to Pickens as much as he is now?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the people keep talking about how we should have never traded him, as if like we're comparing apples to apples here. He would still be a distraction because he would never be getting used this way here. The way he's getting used in Dallas would never happen in Pittsburgh, and he'd still be the distraction that he was when he was here.
Sorry, Bailey.
I don't get it. I don't get why people think that they're the same situation whatsoever. They're not.
Yeah, I'm like, here's the thing. I don't even think wide receiver is an issue, because if you can't throw it to your guy, or if there's guys open, it doesn't really matter. You still have Freiermuth. You still have Darnell Washington, who's getting a lot of balls thrown to him. Even Kenneth Gainwell, too.
Listen, you're telling me that you can't get production out of the guys that you have right now? Roman Wilson ain't a world beater, but he's certainly talented. Calvin Austin's got a lot of talent. Then there's obviously DK Metcalf. Like, this is not a talent issue. This is a scheme issue. There is no reason that we shouldn't be getting more production out of our receivers. Kenneth Gainwell should not have the second most receptions on this team right now.
Well, here's another thing. Even Ben Skoronek's not awful.
No!
Nobody knows who he is, but like, listen, if you can catch the ball, score touchdowns, I don't give a damn who
he
you
was
are.
an occasional home run hitter in LA. Like, Matt Stafford hit him for a few bombs, dude. Like, he's not terrible.
Yeah, he's not terrible. Like, we have receivers. You don't need a million stud elite receivers to be a good football team. You don't need it.
Look at the Bengals.
You need one. I think you need at least one. But like, you don't need all three of your top receivers to be elite receivers in the NFL. Like, you can get by with one. And that's why I just don't think receivers an issue. By the way, I do think another thing too, Buffalo is a good football team too. I'm not taking anything away from.
Yeah, they're a solid team.
They're a solid team. Will they choke in the AFC Championship again? Probably. But
the Chiefs are on the outside looking in, so
yeah, I don't know. But before we get to that, let's talk about this.
I'd like to say one thing to add on to what you said, if I can, really fast, You only need one receiver. I say you can get away with one receiver if the scheme's right.
Yeah.
The Eagles have not used A.J. Brown for what he's worth all year long. They're still 8-4. They finally start using A.J. Brown because people are starting to talk, and they lose 2 games right back to it, and they have 2 stud wide receivers. Granted, one was the Cowboys division rivalry, and I forget what the other one was, who they lost to.
Chicago.
Yes. Chicago seems to be good this year. Who would have thought? Not anybody, except Bears fans, because they always have hope. If the scheme's not there, it's not going to work. It's very clear. I mean, Josh Allen is throwing to who at wide receiver?
Keon Coleman.
If he's even playing when he's not benched because he's doing whatever he's doing.
And the newly acquired Brandon Cooks and Khalil Shakir. That's like it.
And they're winning football games. Who else? Who else is throwing to absolutely nobody? Bo Nix will say. Who's he throwing to? I mean, Cortland Sutton's a good wide receiver. Troy Franklin's been okay too.
Look at Stafford and the Rams. Who's he throwing to? Who's Stafford throwing to outside of Puka? And Puka was hurt for a number of weeks, and they're like 9-3 right now.
Exactly.
Now their defense is insane, but still.
And they get a top 10 pick.
Here's my take on the goddamn on the Broncos. I want to see Bo Nix I want to see them win a playoff game to make an assumption on if he's the guy. Of course, made the playoffs last year, and that's his first playoff game. But I want to see him win a playoff game first. He could still be the guy, lose a playoff game this year, and they win out or something. But I do want to see that. But in terms of this game, though, to be honest, passing wise from both sides, really nothing. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Josh Allen was 15 for 23, 123 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Aaron Rodgers was 10 for 21, 117 yards. He didn't really have a good game. He did get crushed in a play, and Mason Rudolph came in, and he threw a really bad interception. Just poor decision. James Cook, first of all, the most rushing yards at Acrisure Stadium was by this Buffalo Bills team in this game. Let that sink in for you. But James Cook, 32 for 144. Ray Davis, 9 for 62. Josh Allen, 8 for 38. The team rushed for 249 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen had the rushing touchdown.
Not only the most allowed rushing yards in that stadium ever, but the most allowed by the Steelers in a home game in 50 years.
Yeah. Also.
But keep Tomlin.
Also, 4th and 2. You run with Kenneth Gainwell. What was that?
Oh, my God.
What was that?
I saw another stat that I got to bring up real quick while we're talking about this.
I'm done with this football team. I've been done with this football team. My expectations even on an all-in year were low anyway, so I'm not too pissed off, but dude.
Okay, so the Steelers ran 43 offensive plays yesterday. They failed to gain a single yard on 19 of 43 offensive snaps. 44% of our offensive snaps taken yesterday did not gain one single yard. For those of you at home, to put it in layman's terms, that means it was either 0 or negative yards on 19 of our 43 offensive plays. And we allowed the most rushing yards at a home game in 50 years.
Bro, I sent a text to Justin about the Steelers, and even he doesn't want to talk about it. Even he doesn't want to talk about it.
Nobody wants to talk about it.
Everybody's done. Everybody's done. And for the love of God, I wish this would finally be the year that we lose out and have a losing season. But it's not. We're gonna go 9-8 or 10-7. That's
I'm gonna be so angry.
I don't think dude, I genuinely don't think they can get 10-7. I genuinely do not see a way they get to 10-7.
So 9-8.
I don't see a way they get to 9-8 unless they somehow manage to pull one out.
They're not going to.
Yeah, we have to win a game against. I don't know. We still have Miami and Cleveland on the schedule. We could easily win 8.
There's 8 wins.
I still don't care. We're gonna, with how long Shador holds onto the ball, we're gonna.
Listen, dude. I'm telling you. I guarantee it. We beat we lose to the Ravens on the road. We beat Miami. We lose to Detroit. We beat Cleveland, and we go into our final game of the season at home against Baltimore at 8-8. And I guarantee you, we're going to win our final game of the season at 8-8 to finish 9-8. I guarantee it.
We always split with Baltimore. And wait, we gotta play Detroit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm telling you, yeah.
Here's the thing though. I don't know. I think this is the year they don't split with Baltimore for one reason. Baltimore doesn't have to throw a forward pass in that game. They could run a read option every single play with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson and win that football game.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably true.
Simply put, that's how they win the game. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so this is the final stretch of the schedule. At Baltimore, home Dolphins. So that'll be 1-1. We'll be 7-7. We're 6-6 right now. So we 6-7 after losing at Baltimore. 7-7, we beat Miami. 7-8, we lose at Detroit. 8-8, we win in Cleveland. And then final game of the season, home against Baltimore, we'll win and go to 9-8. I guarantee it.
Did you happen to see the stat on the TV during the game yesterday that the only team with the longest streak of not being under 500 was the Cowboys? If Mike Tomlin wins and goes 9-8 this year, they take
He'll
over.
have the longest consecutive stretch with no losing seasons.
I pulled up a stat for you to tell you how impressive it is, and you can tell me if you think it's impressive or not. Since 2004, this year would be 21, and they would take the lead. The Steelers have won 2 Super Bowls. That was in the first 5 years of Tomlin taking over from Cowher. And they've won 12 playoff games in total in 10 years from then. It would be 12 years. 2016 was the last playoff win. Is that a successful franchise to you? I mean, people are going to look back in the history book and be like, wow, this team, holy crap. If you cut off at 2016, yes, that's a very, very good stretch. But when you include 2016 to 2025, it waters that down so bad that it almost makes you want to say this has been the most unsuccessful organization in football at winning games that they should.
Yeah.
But
I think it just goes to show how unsuccessful Tomlin's been. I mean, once everybody started to phase out, football started to change a little bit more. You know, you throw the forward pass a little bit more, run the ball a little bit less. Don't rely so much on your defense as much as you do at scoring points. And Tomlin hasn't grown with the time, and it's very clear.
Let me pull this up real quick. I want to see something. So the most consecutive winning seasons record is held by Dallas. It was from 66 to 85.
19.
Let's see what they did in that time. They won. Let's see. Can I just select this sample size?
I have it pulled up here.
So from 66 to 85, the Cowboys at most lost 6 games.
7.
Yeah,
it was on that tail end there. They went 9-7 in 1984.
So let's see.
But they went 9-7. That's it, though. That's the lowest.
Every other season was 10-6 or better.
Yes. Unless they had like 1982, they had less games played. But still, based off average, that winning percentage was above.
And they won 2 Super Bowls in that time. So, I mean, obviously the Patriots are tied for second longest streak with the Steelers, and the Patriots, obviously in that time, won 6. They went crazy in their run with Brady. But I don't know. I think as a team, our record is far less impressive in those 20 seasons than Dallas or New England's runs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'd have to do the full math.
Anyway, we've talked about this team for too long. This team does not deserve this much attention, and Drake May plays football tonight. So, yay. So anyway, what was I going to say? In terms of Pitt, Miami, Pitt's just not ready. They're not ready. They got outmatched up front. Like, I wasn't that impressed with Carson Beck. Mason got hit a few times. I even got to see Eli Holstein one more time before he probably scores.
Before he's a successful NFL quarterback.
Yeah, okay. There was so many, and here's the thing: Pitt is probably the most undisciplined team that I've seen in a very long time. There were so many penalties. Now, here's the thing, though. This officiating crew was atrocious. So bad. Let the kids play, for God's sake. Seriously. Like, oh my God. There were so many times where penalties, at Pitt's fault and not, it just killed Pitt's momentum when they were almost getting a little bit of momentum going. And yeah, so this is where I shut up for hopefully 10 minutes and the boys show their tier lists.
Bryce, go ahead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my National Football League tier list. Once I figure out exactly which one, there it is. All right, is everybody seeing what I'm seeing? All right, our first tier. Pack it up and forget the season even happened. That goes to the Raiders, the Saints, the Browns, and the Titans. Everybody knew that these teams were going to be bad, but oh my Lord, nobody thought it was going to be this bad. The Raiders, in one, do not have a quarterback, an offensive line, or any wide receivers, and their best players are Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty. That's it. The rest of them would be lucky to get drafted in the NFL draft at where they're playing right now. Saints, I don't think we have to talk about that. They're in the same boat as the Raiders. They have Chris Olave, and that's it. Alvin Kamara is on his way out of the league. The offensive line is still horrible. That's why they should just pack it in. Browns, we don't have to talk about because obviously, they also don't have a quarterback. They also don't have that good of an offensive line. But the Browns at least have a defense. They need to figure out their offensive side of the ball.
Shador wasn't eye-popping either. Like, I don't understand all this hype, seriously. He didn't play bad. It was just nothing.
But there goes the point about the scheme that we talked about earlier. They're putting him in a winning scheme to get his confidence to grow and get him to get a little bit more comfortable. That's all it takes. Okay. Anyway, Titans we don't really have to talk about because gosh.
God.
Sorry, Titans fans.
It's all right.
You have it bad.
I mean, at least you have maybe a franchise quarterback, but you need literally everything else on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. But next tier list, that is the make some moves in the offseason and then smile. That goes to the Dolphins. I think they could be a scary team with a little bit of help. You get Tyreek Hill back, maybe. If not, you trade him, get some picks for this year upcoming draft, see what happens. Commanders, losing Jaden Daniels helps. Secondary for the Commanders is they're good. They have some potential. Defense is definitely working out some of those kinks. Problem is when you don't have a quarterback that can run the offense like Jaden Daniels and you're not putting points on the board, you're in trouble. That starts with the running back position because I'm sorry, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Jeremy Nicholas, and Rodriguez is not a running back core that's going to win you football games.
No.
Falcons probably could have ended in the pack it up and forget this season even happened, but Michael Penix Jr. looked like a decent wide receiver or a decent quarterback for most of the year, and the wide receiver play has been pretty solid for the Falcons given everything. Defense is solid too. So Falcons are on that, make some moves. Maybe you end up close to the playoffs next year, grow a little bit. You never know. Giants, I don't think I have to explain. They were just riddled with injuries all year. But could be a very fun team next year. If they could make some more moves and maybe they find themselves in the playoffs. I think that'd be cool to see. All right.
Yeah.
Next tier list. Maybe the quarterback isn't the reason your team is SSA. Read that backwards and that'll tell you what it means. Vikings. Oh my gosh. Everybody crapped on McCarthy because he's been absolutely horrible. This other guy was even worse.
This guy
stinks.
Brosman, is that his name?
Yes. He threw almost half of the interceptions that J.J. McCarthy has on the entire year in one game. I know the expectations weren't high because he was an undrafted free agent, but holy cow, that was hard to watch.
Can I interject something about this real quick?
Yes.
I cannot believe I have to say this, but please, everyone on the internet, please stop comparing this guy to Shedeur Sanders and saying this is why Shedeur Sanders deserves to be the starting quarterback of the Browns. Oh, this guy didn't get any first team reps. No one saying anything about him throwing 4 picks in a game. Shut up. Nobody asked you. Shut up.
The Vikings are one of the it just piles on for them. It really does. McCarthy comes in, wins you the first game of the season. Everybody's hopes are up to this kid can play football. Then he gets hurt and it looks bad against the Falcons. And then Carson Wentz gives you a little glimmer of hope, and then his labrum's gone. And then McCarthy comes back and it's even worse. And then you're like, we have this undrafted quarterback. It could get better, and it gets even worse. I mean, the Vikings probably could have ended up in the pack it up list and just forget the season even happened and just move on to next year. But I think they're not bad because of the quarterback. There's many more problems.
This is the perpetual cycle of suffering for Minnesota Vikings fans year in and year out.
Pretty much. Cardinals, same situation. Briskett's been a pretty solid quarterback since Kyler Murray's been out. He's not the reason that your team sucks. Your team is just SSA because of other reasons. Steelers, we don't even have to talk about. You're just SSA in general. The only person on your team that's worth anything is Chris Boswell. And I would like to say this. I'm about done with the Patrick Queen train, man. I'm about done.
Getting tired of it?
I'm getting tired of watching him get handled by the pulling guards and climbing tackles. And I'm about tired of watching him just get blown off the ball. Interject real quick to college real quick. Breaking news. Pat Fitzgerald is taking over Michigan State.
Oh, snap.
That is a great hire for the Spartans.
Yeah,
it is not something that I wanted to see today after losing the game. Damn it.
Sparty.
Oh, all right. Anyway, Steelers just are SSA in general. The Jets fell on this list for one reason and one reason only. Tyrod Taylor came in, and yes, the Jets didn't really play. I forget who they even played this past weekend. Does anybody remember? Falcons. Falcons are in the make some moves list. But Tyrod Taylor looked pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Tyrod Taylor looked like a respectable NFL quarterback, partially. I mean, Adonai Mitchell or A.D. Mitchell had a great game. Tyrod Taylor threw for 172 yards, which isn't a ton, but it was enough in key situations to get them moving, and he also ran a touchdown. So the Jets know that their problem isn't the quarterback. They know they have other problems. So that's that tier list. Our next one. People are starting to talk. Bengals beat the Ravens in prime time. I don't think anybody expected that. The defense started to play a little bit better once Joe Burrow came back and they weren't on the field so damn long because of, the offense being incompetent. Cowboys stunned the Eagles in what was a bottom tier defense all year, has now turned into a somewhat respectable defense. That could partially be because the Eagles are The Texans, people are starting to talk about. I mean, they're 7-5 right now?
I called that upset.
Yeah, I called the Jets upset, so we both got points for that. I think I picked the Jets. I don't remember. I didn't even look at my thing because I went 9-6. But, that category, I almost moved the I forget who it was. We'll see when we get up top. I almost moved another team into this list because people are starting to talk. Bengals aren't eliminated. Cowboys aren't eliminated. Texans aren't eliminated. They've kind of been playing spoiler these past couple weeks, and Bengals are only going to get better with a competent quarterback now that isn't 95,000 years old. Cowboys are, the Cowboys, so they won't win anything. But, and the Texans, I think they have the Chiefs this coming week. Next, are we truly buying into these teams? Okay, these are 4 teams that are currently in the playoffs if it ended today.
Yeah.
Are we buying into them? I mean, are we? The Bears look good. The Jags look good somehow. The Ravens look like crap, but they're in the lead because the AFC North is quite possibly the weakest division this year. And the Panthers are, beating the Rams. And Bryce Young actually looked good. Maybe Bryce Young isn't a bad quarterback. I mean, maybe he is. But 15 for 20, 3 touchdowns, 206 yards against the Rams defense, that's pretty solid.
That's a very solid performance.
Very solid. So
31 points as a team.
Yeah, against the Rams. I think that might be the most points the Rams have given up all year long.
I think you're probably right.
They have given up. The Rams gave up 26, so no. Yeah, that is the most points the Rams have given up this year outside of the Eagles. The Eagles put up 33.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that was it. That's the most points. It was the Carolina Panthers. So that leads me into the category. I don't know. Do we buy into them? Do we say they're not good? They're probably all. Well, the Ravens will surely make the playoffs because the Steelers aren't. Bengals maybe sneak in. I don't know. That's just an interesting tier where you didn't know where to put them. Next one. This could be 98 Braves type of teams, okay? Potentially. I think you guys will like this category. This category is designed of teams that have a winning record. They look good. But I don't think they can make it to the Super Bowl and win. I don't think they can make it. That goes to the Packers, Eagles, Chargers, Colts, Lions, Bucks, Chiefs.
Interesting.
It was a very interesting tier because seven of these teams have talent off the board. I mean, the Packers have got Parsons. Jordan Love's playing exceptional football right now. But can they get over the hump? The Eagles look good. Offense is a little bit sputtery at times, and the defense is a little bit mid as well. Chargers. Justin Herbert did not look good against the Raiders at all. Then he gets hurt. He's going to get surgery. Everything's going to be fine. I don't think they can truly make a playoff run. The Colts, self-explanatory. The Lions, also self-explanatory. Their offensive coordinator goes to the Bears and turns them around in year one. The Bucks, just because their stretch into the playoffs is brutal. And, you get Bucky Irving back. Bake Show's there. Tez Johnson. Godwin's back.
Emeka
Ibuka's been terrible the past couple weeks, but he's there. Defense is looking good. But still, I don't think they can get over that hump this year. Same with the Chiefs. I mean, you've got all the talent in the world on offense, but the defense has just not been it this year. So that's why, and if anybody is wondering what the 98 Braves were, the 98 Braves were quite possibly the biggest letdown in baseball history. They had all sorts of talent across the board. Should have won the World Series that year, but them damn Padres knocked them out. That's a song by Morgan Wallen, in case you were curious. But the 98 Braves I see in every single one of these teams. We got two more lists. Likely to make the Super Bowl. You might be asking, why do you have the Seahawks there? Why do you have the 49ers there? Why do you have the Bills there? Simple. Very simple. Because these defenses, specifically the Seahawks, ridiculous. 49ers finally get everybody back for the most part. They're starting to click a little bit. Yeah, it was the Browns, but you still only held them to 8 points, and they controlled the game the entire time. And the Bills just, for whatever reason, never go away, ever. Rams, same situation, lose to the Panthers. I think that'll fire some people up. You could go back to that game and say, oh, the Panthers won. Matt Stafford did throw a pick six in that game, which very well could have been the difference maker. And then the two teams that you see at the top, Pats and the Broncos. Both teams 10-2. But who have they really played? I don't know. That's why I have them likely to make the Super Bowl. So you might be asking, wait, these are all the teams. How do you have another tier list? It's empty.
Okay.
That's why. The Super Bowl contenders, I think if you take the last two tiers, likely to make Super Bowl, 98 Braves type of teams, your Super Bowl champion is going to come from one of those tier lists. But I don't think any of these teams are better than the other. They're all pretty much around the same bubble. If I had to give it to anybody that was contending for a Super Bowl, it would probably be the Rams if I had to. But I think anybody is going to beat anybody this year. Like last year, everybody was kind of like, oh, the Eagles are really good, and the Chiefs are also really good. oh boy, this could be another Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl, but maybe it's the Bills year. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't have a thought for who could win it all this year. So that's why the Super Bowl contenders is open. One of these teams has got to make a push, and then they'll get moved into that tier. But for right now, I don't think we have a true Super Bowl contender. That's my list. Anybody have anything they'd like to add on, say, anything like that?
Shocked that you have the Eagles as low as you do. Other than that, though, I'm pretty much in agreement with this.
The only reason I have the Eagles so low is because of, you're up on the Cowboys, and then you just could not get a stop.
Yeah.
Or no, the Eagles didn't play the Cow. Yeah. And then the Cowboys come and beat the Chiefs 31-28 in a game where Patrick Mahomes plays quite possibly his best game all year, and the defense just could not stop anything. So Eagles are there for that reason, because they're not, bad. They're probably going to make the damn Super Bowl again, unfortunately. But I think they have that potential this year to be that team that everybody's like, oh, they could win it. And then they get knocked out by, say, the freaking Seahawks or something dumb like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I have for my tier list. I hope everybody enjoyed that wonderful showing.
All right, let's do it.
This one should be
Tim's
fun.
with it again. Tim's back for another weekly edition of the tiers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. All right, first tier. Relegation. These are the 5 worst teams in football by far. I know the Giants have a worse record than some of the teams down here, but in my personal opinion, these 5 teams should all be playing the top 5 teams in college football at the end of the season to determine if they're still even worthy of being in the National Football League. Yeah, I think Ohio State could genuinely probably beat 2 or 3 of these teams on this tier. All right, next tier. Hardly relevant. It's just, the Giants have Jackson Dart. The Falcons occasionally play a decent game. Terry McLaurin had a decent game for the Commanders yesterday. That made some noise. They almost won their game against, I believe, Denver last night. I can't remember. And then the Vikings have Justin Jefferson. So all these teams are hardly relevant at most. So there's that. Next. I have nowhere else to put you. I genuinely just didn't know where else to put these 3 football teams. They just aren't anything great. Joe Burrow's back, but they're 3-8 right now or something like that. Cardinals, Bam Knight put up 16 points on my bench in fantasy this week. That was cool, I guess. And then the Dolphins, I literally forget are in the league half the time. Next, depends on the week. All of these teams could give you one thing or the exact opposite depending on the week. Steelers beat the Colts that one time, looked absolutely embarrassing yesterday. Panthers beat the Rams yesterday, but then play an embarrassing game every once in a while against like the Falcons. The Texans, again, just very iffy. Same with the Jags. I mean, these 4 teams all genuinely, I have zero clue what they're going to give me on any given week. Next. Solid at best. I really don't think any of these teams are anything special. The Broncos defense is great, but I don't have that much faith in Bo Nix. The Buccaneers without Bucky Irving or anything like that are okay, but they're clearly gettable. And then the Ravens, Lamar is going to keep them relevant, but other than that, I just don't think they're anything special. Next. Surprise of the century. I have no clue how these teams are doing what they're doing right now. The Cowboys have beaten the Eagles and the Chiefs in back-to-back weeks. The Bears are 9-3, also just beat the Eagles. So I don't really know what that says about the Eagles, quite frankly, but these 2 teams are doing way more than I thought they would.
Yeah.
One-trick pony. All 4 of these teams have one thing they're good at. 3 of them involve the team's quarterbacks. The other one is Jonathan Taylor, one of the best players in football. Justin Herbert plays good. Chargers are good. Josh Allen plays good. The Bills are good. Patrick Mahomes plays good. The Chiefs are mostly good, minus the game against Dallas this past week. And then the Colts, when Jonathan Taylor plays well, they probably win the football game. Other than that, there is nothing special about any of these teams right now besides one thing. NFC West -1. These teams are all 9-3 right now. I don't understand. Like, the Rams, I expected. The Niners have one with two of the most unassuming white guy quarterbacks you've ever seen in your life, and then the third most unassuming white quarterback is the quarterback for the Seahawks, and they're all really good football teams. So, hey, I'm just gonna give them their credit right now because these three teams are all really good. The Rams slide a little bit from previous weeks after losing to the Panthers. Next, any given week, all three of these teams, any given week, could be the best team in football based on their performance, or they could be like the 7 seed in the playoffs. Like this team, these three teams will give you something, and a lot of the times it'll be pretty good. And I think overwhelmingly, for the most part, they're all good football teams. Next, prove us wrong. They got the best record in football right now. I mean, they're tied with the Broncos technically, but I believe in this team far more than Denver. I think Drake May is special. I think the defense is very good. I think the receivers are playing far above what they're supposed to, and I think Mike Vrabel has got this team in a very good position. Those are the tiers for this week. I had fun with this one, quite frankly. Particularly NFC West -1, I thought was probably one of my favorite tiers.
Yeah, that was a good tier. I'm gonna say that the Texans that low is definitely a choice.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the most controversial positions.
I would say that's probably the worst, and then I would say the Cowgirls that high is also interesting, but I see why they're there. The surprise of the century definitely makes sense. Yeah, I mean that's a solid tier list too. I think my favorite one's got to be the Dolphins, Cardinals, and Bengals because I struggled with the same three teams on where to put them.
Yeah, I seriously didn't know. I was just looking at those three teams and I was like the Dolphins are like 5 and 7. I can't just put them at the bottom of the tiers. Like I can't.
Yeah. Because, I mean, all of those teams, besides the Cardinals, can theoretically win. Well, even the Cardinals, they all can theoretically win out and make the playoffs.
Yeah, there's a world.
The Bengals, if they could theoretically still win the AFC North.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was probably my favorite because I'm in the same boat. I'm like, there's no way this team's winning any sort of anything this year. But, I mean, on paper, they still can. I don't know.
Yes, Michael.
Oh, that was my cue to wrap it up.
Oh, okay.
Good thing we're done.
Yeah, so keep watching, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to do rapid fire and with playoff implications. And they're going to talk about the game. But first, we need to pay some bills.
All righty. This episode of Tailgate Talks is sponsored by Defrisha Recycling and Junk Removal. Defrisha is a family-run business out of Greenville, Pennsylvania that provides services such as vehicle purchasing, scrap metal purchasing, appliance removal, junk removal, garbage services, dumpster rentals, curbside pickups, house garage and building cleanouts, and demolition around the Greenville and Pittsburgh areas. If you or anyone you know are in need of any of these services, check out the links in the description down below. Check out Defrisha's website or their Facebook page. Get in contact with them. See if they provide their services in your area. Thank you, Defrisha, for sponsoring this episode of Tailgate Talks.
All right, Alex.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait. First, Alex and I need to flex on a picture that was posted today.
I can't even tell what it is.
It's Edinburgh's award for being the 2025 Western Division champs. And in honor of that, I'm going to do the Jared France.
Not in the playoffs, though, right? Not a playoff team.
Jared France doesn't play football anymore.
Right.
Anyway, go ahead.
To the game. All right, Alex, I want to walk you through a scenario real quick.
Okay.
It's the game, okay? It's 3rd and 8. Jordan Marshall's out. Cutstall's in. Michigan's kind of driving. You know, you get in field goal range here if you get this first down. Little far with the snow if you kick it. What play is Sharon Moore running?
I'm going to say he's going to make sure that he calls a halfback slip screen with Ohio State's best defensive lineman on the same side of the field when it's also the short side of the field.
You know, that is about as close to correct as you can be. a pitch to the running back to the short side with the best defensive players on that side of the field. And we're curious why. I'm not. I'll let Alex go first because Ohio State won, because I told him I have a long explanation for this game.
Well, I think we got to rip rapid fire first, don't we? Are we ripping rapid fire now, or are we doing it at the end?
We can do it. We can do it now, so that I don't have to talk for the rest of the time.
Sounds good to me. I thought we were moving into the game. That's why I brought that scenario up.
Also, I am too lazy that I am going to forfeit my upset alert for this week.
I got to figure out.
Oh, by the way, the records right now, in first place is Bryce with 8-5. Also in first place, me at 8-5, as I forgot to pause my 2K game. Also, AJ first, 8-5, which those three are us three are probably in the playoffs. It just comes down to Haley and Dom, which Haley's at 7-6, Dom's 5-8, Emma's 6-7. She's basically, though if she wins, though, I just realized if Emma wins, then like she's in the tiebreaker with you and Haley too. I just realized that because she's 6-7. Alex is 6-7 as well. So this is basically the scenario that we're looking at. And by the way, if Dom is late on his picks, we're gonna have a tiebreaker. Don't worry, because that's not fair. So Haley has to for Emma and Alex to make the playoffs, Haley has to lose for sure. She has to lose, or it's it. She has the final spot. And then obviously Alex has to beat Bryce. So Bryce, you can knock Alex out of the playoffs. So, and then with a tiebreaker, we decided we're just going to pick the most picks or whatever. And if by some chance in hell there's a tie with the picks, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
Honestly, because there's obviously another 2 weeks after like, you know what I mean? Another 2 weeks after we're done with rapid fire. If by some chance the picks are not done or you guys somehow tie with picks, could just do a week of you versus Haley versus Emma next
week.
A play-in, yep.
I like that.
I kind of want to do it, but like that depends on the people that are in the playoffs, which is which is me, Bryce, and AJ. I'm fine with it. I don't care.
So that would be like buys for everyone else pretty much, and then a play-in for us on the bubble.
It's more so a play-in just to see who gets the final spot in the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah.
It's me, because let's be real. Me, Bryce, and AJ are pretty much locks in the playoffs. So, which by the way,
because 4 teams make it, right?
Yeah, and by the way, I've won a playoff game more sooner than Mike Tomlin has. So yeah, we can talk about that, and I actually kind of like that idea, but we'll see. Because well, here's the thing though, the last week in the NFL too, that is unpredictable. So if there was ever a time to do a championship, it would be that one, because you don't know you don't know who's gonna play. So I don't know. We'll see. I like the idea, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, we got to get past this week first. So the Cowboys at the Lions. I actually don't know, because like the Lions on Thursday, and then the Cowboys on Thursday too. This could be a coin flip. But if I had to guess, if I had put me on the spot, I'm probably going Detroit.
Yeah, give me Detroit.
I'm taking Detroit as well.
I think this is going to be a Dan Campbell grit. Run the football. Jared Goff does really well.
A Lions team that could be without Amon-Ra St. Brown, high ankle sprain. That could definitely be something to look into. You're down Laporta and St. Brown, so I'm still going Lions.
Alex, run the ball. Run the ball.
Run the ball.
Run the ball. All right, give me Seattle over Atlanta because Atlanta sucks.
I am in agreement.
We all taking Seattle?
Yeah.
The Bengals against the Bills.
Yeah, give me Buffalo.
Yeah.
Give me Buffalo as well.
Oh, God. Tennessee at Cleveland.
Who's the Cleveland Browns? We're the Cleveland Browns.
This is the 1 week. This is the 1 week where he's gonna. I think he's. Yeah.
The team that punts the least is winning this game. Give me the Cleveland Browns.
Alex, don't do it. 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 I know Shador's not that special, but like, don't do it.
Yeah, this isn't the game I'm willing to bet the tiebreaker on between me and Bryce. Give me Cleveland.
Also,
Listen,
Alex,
Myles Garrett might have 6 sacks and have 25 on the year in this game.
Yeah.
Alex, any word on Shador? It's the 49ers? Anything?
No.
Okay. The Commanders at the Vikings. Oh God. I'm sorry. Give me Washington.
Who even is Washington's quarterback? Is it Mariota still?
No, didn't I see something that Jaden Daniels could be back?
Yeah.
All right, give me Washington.
How?
I want Jonathan James McCarthy, please.
Oh God. You've been wrong every time you've picked him though.
I didn't pick them last week and they lost, so it doesn't make a difference.
Dolphins at the Jets. Oh, what? Who picked these games?
Give me the Dolphins. Yeah.
I also am going to take the Finns.
Yeah.
Unless Tyrod Taylor decides to play quarterback again, then I'm going to regret that choice.
The Saints at the Bucks. Give me the Bake Show.
Yep.
Oh wait, no, he's out, isn't he? I forgot. Oh, he's back.
Should be back. I thought I saw.
Don't care, even if it's Teddy Two Gloves. Give me the Bucks.
Yeah.
Give me a Bucky Irving masterclass to get me into the playoffs.
You're pretty much already in, unless you want Alex in with you.
I'm talking fantasy football.
Oh.
Mm.
The Colts at the Jags. I think the Colts bounce back this week.
Give me the red hot Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's the
This is my upset alert, by the way.
I'm taking the.
Actually, is it? Is this my upset?
Please be.
Yeah. This will be my upset.
Cool.
What is it? If you pick your upset and it's right, you get 2 points. Is that what it is?
I haven't even been keeping track this year. I'm gonna be totally honest.
I haven't either. Either way, give me the Colts. Just say Ravens and move on.
Yeah, Baltimore. We're gonna split. I think we're gonna split with Baltimore, but I don't think this is the game we win.
Telling you, gonna be 8-8, and we're gonna play Baltimore to end the year, and we're gonna finish 9-8.
So we're all going Baltimore.
Yep.
All right. The Broncos at the Raiders. The Raiders are so bad.
So bad.
Yeah. Give me Denver.
So bad.
Give me Denver, but Denver, I'm asking you now, please, for the sake of my fantasy football team, just let Brock Bowers score one time.
Have Kenny Pickett there.
One time.
I think the Broncos win this game 9-0.
That's funny.
That's
the Bears,
unfortunately a very real possibility.
The Bears at the Packers. The Bears are hot, but I'm going to take a risky one here. I'm going to go Green Bay.
Green Bay's also hot right now. They just beat Detroit. Give me the Pack.
I'm going to take the Bears to solidify themselves as the best team in the NFC North. That's my upset.
I wanted to, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take
I guess I have two upsets because I have the Vikings and the Bears.
Yeah. All right. Give me the Rams to bounce back against the Cardinals because the Cardinals are bad.
Yep.
The Texans against the Chiefs.
Chiefs Kingdom.
Give me the Kansas City Chief.
Kansas City Chief.
Listen. The Texans are back. They are back. CJ Stroud is back. I know I said at the beginning of the year he might be playing out of a contract, but I think he's back. Give me the Houston Texans to put the Chiefs at 6-7.
Bold. I like it though.
You know what? Could that be the upset? Is that enough? upset a pick without even looking.
Yep.
You know what? I will make that my upset.
Yeah, it's a 3.5 point upset.
Did we pick the Bills and Bengals?
Yeah.
I don't think I said. Did I say Bills? I think I said Bills.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
I don't remember.
And then Monday night, Eagles at the Chargers. The Eagles are a mess right now. Give me the Chargers.
Justin Herbert kind of struggles against good defenses, and I think the Eagles are probably going to bounce back. Give me the Eagles.
I'm going purely based off of I want, not what I see, and I want the Chargers to beat the Eagles. So I'm going to pick the Chargers.
Well, Bryce,
real quick, Alex, I want to ask you this question because we were talking about it last year, and I know they won the Super Bowl and everything, but like with the stuff we've been hearing about AJ Brown and the way the offenses went with the Eagles this year, do you still view Nick Sirianni as a distraction?
No, I don't think so. He's been really quiet this year, actually. I don't think he's the problem at this point.
That's fair. But all right, I shut up for the rest of the time. So everybody, bye. You'll see
Alex,
me.
what were you going to say?
Alrighty, am I starting first?
I thought you were going to say something before he said that about the Eagles.
I lost my train of thought.
I think it was about the rapid fire.
Oh yeah. No, there's a very small chance that we're going to need a tiebreaker, Bryce. So I think our picks are going to come down to it.
Yeah, it should be just straight up. But before I start, I'm going to shout out myself here. In college pick'ems on the ESPN app, straight up, I finished in 39,000th place out of tens of millions of people picking games. I was 20 games off of the champion, and I can name 5 of those games. 3 of them were Michigan versus a ranked opponent. So go ahead, Alex. Take us away. You've been dying for
those
one.
of you
go ahead.
Who don't care for the greatest rivalry in all of sports. The game was played on Saturday between the Ohio State Buckeyes and that team up north in Ann Arbor, and that team up north was not able to get the job done. The Ohio State Buckeyes have beaten the Wolverines for the second time in Ryan Day's career, first time since his first season as the head coach of the Buckeyes. 4 long years in a row of losing to the Wolverines, and it's finally over. Ohio State is, I truly believe now, you could argue Indiana. I get it. And I actually don't totally disagree, and I understand where people are coming from, but I think personally, Ohio State has solidified themselves as the number 1 team in the country. We will see, pending the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis, Indiana, this coming Saturday, technically, actually, at 6:30 p.m. In a game where Sharon Moore just really gave it his all to coach a really bad football game. Ohio State outgained the Wolverines 419 to 163, 233 passing yards, 63 passing yards, 186 rushing yards to 100 rushing yards. Ohio State averaged 5.7 yards per play compared to the opposition at 3.9. Wolverines only went 1 for 9 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth. Ohio State went 10 for 17 on third, 2 for 3 on fourth. 73 plays total to 42. Ohio State dominated the time of possession 40 minutes and 1 second to 19 minutes and 59 seconds. Wasn't a very clean game at first. I honestly don't understand why in this game that on the first offensive series, Brian Hartline was trying to draw up a hole shot to the short side of the field to the guy that we would obviously throw the ball to in that situation. It just seemed like a really predictable play to me. But Julian Sain throws a bad pick. The Ohio State defense bends but doesn't break. Ends up only being 6-0 after the 2 first offensive possessions for the Wolverines instead of, 13-0 or something like that. So big time play by Ohio State. Offensive line played out of their minds. Julian Sain wasn't even touched in this football game, I believe. Wasn't barely even pressured, let alone wasn't sacked once. Didn't even get hit after releasing a ball. Ohio State wins in Ann Arbor 27-9 to stay undefeated to finish the regular season 12-0, number 1 team in the country, and will take on number 2, also 12-0, Indiana in the Big Ten Championship this coming Saturday. Bryce, I will throw it over to you, let you do your monologue.
I do want to say Julian Sand was hit one time, and it was after the whistle, and it probably should have been a roughing the passer call. That was the only time he was hit. That was it.
Yeah,
but as I said, when we were showing the game last week and talking about it, the two things I said that Michigan has to do. You have to get pressure. Did not happen. And you have to take what they're going to give you. I don't think I said that explicitly, but it was kind of beat around the bush to it. That didn't happen. So, but I'm going to take this time not to talk about the game because, as I look back on the season that the Wolverines had, you lose to Oklahoma 24-13 in a game that should have been 24-6 if Justice Haynes wasn't an absolute freak of a running back. You lose to USC 31-13 in another game that probably should have been 31-6 because Jordan Marshall is a dog as well. And then you lose to Ohio State 27-9 in a game that could have very well been 27-17. But that's been the story all year long. Michigan has a very young team. Nobody's going to discount that. Underwood's 18 years old. I see people on social media saying that he is so bad they overpaid. Maybe, but he's 18. Nobody's going to know. And when you have pockets as deep as freaking what's-his-face that signed all these players, you don't really care about $10 million. It doesn't really faze you. So he's not really thinking about the money. But very young team, and I'm going to give credit to Ohio State because they were very clearly the better team, and anybody that argues they aren't is just dumb. But I'm gonna say this, okay? So this is the game, okay? The game. 2021, I have it pulled up here if that's why you're wondering. Blake Corum was hurt, which gave Hassan Haskins all the touches. He was a very solid running back, and that was why they won the football game. But Corum was out. Could have had a 1-2 punch. 2022, Corum gets hurt. Don't have him for the game. Donovan Edwards shows up. But he's in a cast. 2024, Donovan Edwards is out because he's hurt. 2025, Justice Haynes is hurt within 6 weeks of the season starting. In that same game, Jordan Marshall is out in the first half because he re-aggravated a shoulder injury. You're maybe wondering, where am I going with this? Maybe if you had at least somewhat of a balanced pass attack, you wouldn't have to run the ball so many times and run your running backs right into the ground and be down those guys in a game that mattered to make the playoffs. Then again, you look back, they weren't going to beat Oklahoma. They didn't. They weren't going to beat USC. They didn't. And you should have thought they're not going to beat Ohio State either because they're not ready for this type of game. And it was very evident after the first quarter that they weren't ready.
Yeah.
At first quarter, you could have told me, I'm like, it's happening again. Here we go again. But
that's
then
exactly what I was thinking.
Once I watched us not be able to move the ball and have to settle for a field goal after picking it off on the 35-yard line, is when I said, this game's over.
Yeah, so, Sayan throws the pick. You guys get another field goal. It's 6-0. And in my head, I'm going, oh, great. Here we go. 13-10. It's going to happen again. Same way it happened last year. This is exactly what happened last year. It's going to happen again. Because genuinely, in the first 9 or 10 minutes of this game, it just, again, looked like the fifth year in a row that Ryan Day just did not have this team mentally prepared for this football game. Luckily, our luck swung this year, but.
And you're very right. And I'm going to say this, and this is not going to be a shot, because Ohio State won the game with who was on the field. I really would have liked to see a world where we had all 4 of our captains playing in the game. I would have loved to see what it would have been. I still think the score is pretty close to the same, although I think it probably would have been 27-20, somewhere like that. Maybe not. I could be completely wrong. Michigan was out Samaj Morgan, who's terrible anyway. He's going to hit the portal. He's done. I'll save the one that surprised me the most for last. Rod Moore, who's been out for 2 straight years now. I don't know what's going on, but he's probably done for playing football as well. Haynes, obviously, out for the year, broke his foot. Dominic Nichols was another guy that was a upperclassman, got hurt and was out. And then Max Bredesen was questionable, played through a literal broken foot, but they didn't let him in a game where we really could have used him to lead up into the hole and open some stuff up. The one that surprised me the most, and I don't know if Alex picked up on this during the broadcast of everything, Ernest Hausman.
I did hear something about that.
The senior captain, middle linebacker, quits on his team the last 2 games of the season because he had a spiritual awakening of what he needs to do in Uganda. As a senior captain, steps away from the team. Not steps away from the team. Sorry, he didn't step away from the team. Didn't play in the last 2 games because he wasn't mentally available. I'm not going to shame mental health at all. Not going to do that. But what I am going to shame is a football coach who doesn't have control over a locker room and doesn't have control of situations.
Yeah.
You simply cannot look at this team on paper and say, how do you lose every ranked matchup this year? Young quarterback, blame it on that. That's fine. But you didn't do anything to get him ready. Maybe if you didn't run the ball 40 times a game, he could actually read a defense. There was plenty of opportunities they showed in the broadcast. Andrew Marsh is down the sideline wide open. McCauley's coming across the middle with a gap to take it. Klein pops out, has a dump off for a 10-yard out, wide open, doesn't take it, dumps it off to the running back instead. You can credit that to Ohio State's defense, and I will, because they played very good. But I also think that falls on the offensive coordinator and the head coach to not have your freshman quarterback comfortable. The first drive, he looked super comfortable, I thought. And then after that, he wasn't. And I don't know.
He's very athletic, and Ohio State's defensive line really contained him. Like, Hayden Curry and all those guys, like, they really played some disciplined rush lanes and really, like, even the spies. And again, like I said, I think I said this when we were previewing last week. I mean, Arvell Reese plays off the ball linebacker, but Christ, he's like an unbelievable pass rusher. He might be the first overall pick this year. Like,
honestly, I mean, it's very tough to watch because it almost feels like 2018 where you're like, there's no way this team can touch that team. It honestly felt like that, and it shouldn't, because there is plenty of talent on that Michigan team. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this very lightly. I'm not going to blame this loss I'm going to blame it on 3 people. Wink Martindale hasn't been himself all year. But I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming the defensive line.
Zero pressure.
They are in the top 50 for sacks. They're behind teams like Pitt, Penn State, SMU, freaking Hawaii. You're a blue blood Power 5 school that plays in the Big Ten and is always competing. The past couple years at least has been competing, even years before. And you cannot find one pass rusher? I mean, it's crazy. The defensive front was horrible. That part of that goes on them. I think if they could have got to saying a little bit more and not gave him time to pitch a tent, start a fire, cook his dinner, and then get a shower and go to sleep before he had to throw the ball, maybe it's a different game. Underwood, his age showed. He did not wait for plays to develop. He got rid of it too soon. And I think, I don't know this, but I think that was coached into him this week by the offensive coordinator and the head football coach. Because all year long, he kind of had been holding on to the ball too long and then would take off. This game, he held on to the ball not long enough and then took off. And the last one I'm putting this on, I mean, it's got to go on Sharon Moore. Going into this game, he was 2-0. Actually, he was undefeated against every rival that Michigan has. Had not lost to a rival since his arrival. One was in 2023 with Harbaugh's team. One was in 2024 with predominantly Harbaugh's team. And now we start to get into Sharon Moore's team and look right back to where we are. I'll leave it at this unless Alex has anything else to add. The team's youngest team in the Big Ten, almost one of the youngest teams in college football. They're going to be fine. And I think everything is going to be fine in the future. I don't think this is another 10-year hiatus where Ohio State just wins every time. I think they're going to be back, but I do definitely think that Sherrone Moore's seat is warm. It's getting warmer.
Yeah. Last thing for me, genuinely, I believe this is probably the best Ohio State team that we'll see. Actually, I think depending on who they're able to keep this year, either this year or next year, will be the best Ohio State football team we will see in the next probably 8 years, I think. Because Julian Sayin is going to stay. I mean, he's obviously the guy. I think he's proven that more than anything, that he is certainly worthy of being the guy in scarlet and gray for us in the future. So I think with depending on who we manage to keep this year, who we lose in the portal, who we lose to the draft, graduation, all that, I'm very confident in this team winning the Big Ten championship this coming Saturday and going to win the national championship again. So that's it for me. Mike, anything else?
I just hope that Michigan figures it out, man, because games like that, they're fun for Ohio State, obviously, because you get the one back. Even everybody, I think, was like, oh, so Ohio State, they can do it. Ryan Day can do it. Yeah. But for the rivalry, games like that, it's not good for the rivalry, because all that's going to happen is it's going to be like, look at the Iron Bowl. Auburn's terrible, and they hung with Alabama till the end. Maybe the Iron Bowl does just mean more. We don't need that. We don't need that being said.
The game is still better.
And Sherrone Moore's not a Big Ten guy. He's an SEC guy, so he'll never know. Now that he's in it, he knows, but he didn't know about the rivalry like Harbaugh did, like Schembechler, like all the other coaches that were there. Same with Ohio State. They bring in guys that aren't from Ohio, and they're gone instantly because they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
The game does not need this to become this rivalry is not as big as the Iron Bowl or whatever other bowl. So hopefully Sherrone Moore figures it out. Hopefully they're back next year in Ohio State. Pull one out. Hopefully, I don't know. Their schedule next year is definitely going to warrant Sherrone Moore's job, I'll say. They're going to have 5 top 25 matchups next year. And if Sherrone Moore doesn't go 4-1 or better, he might be canned. I'm just going to say it now.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, this episode of Tailgate Talks is brought to you by DeFrischer Recycling and Junk Removal. If you or anyone you know is in need of their services, check out the links in the description down below. Go to DeFrischer's website or their Facebook page. Get in contact with them. See if they provide their services in your area. Thank you, DeFrischer, for sponsoring this episode of Tailgate Talks, as always. And with that being said,
it's college basketball season for me.
Good night, America.